Welcome to Cinema Talk. I'm your host, Oliver. Let's talk Monkey Man. Monkey Man stars Dev Patel, and it's about a young man on a vengeful path to kill those who are responsible for the death of his mother and the burning of his village. He makes his living as a fighter in an underground fight club where he wears a gorilla mask and gets beaten by more popular fighters for cash. Now, guys, right off the bat, I have to talk about the trailer of this film, which gave me just enough for me to be excited to watch it. So many times do we watch trailers and the trailers outperform the movie, or sometimes even gives too much of the movie's plot, which I do not like. A good example for this, when we're on the side of trailers here, is the recent trailer for Abigail. Like, the premise of this movie had me hooked in the beginning until it got towards the end of the trailer and revealed that Abigail is a vampire. I think going in, it would have been better as an audience to not know who she was or what she was at the time, so that we can have something to explore. Given that the fact that trailer revealed too much of the film left me not wanting to really watch the movie because I felt like there was nothing for me to discover with the characters. With that said, guys, let me know in the comments below which trailer you feel like spoiled the movie for you. I'm looking forward to reading your responses. Now back to Monkey Man. What really got me interested to watch Monkey Man really is not even the trailer itself. It's more or less the fact that Dev Patel directed this movie. It's his directorial debut, and I was very interested to see how he is behind the camera. We all know how he is in front of the camera. He has done amazing performances in the past with Hotel Mumbai, Lion, Slumdog Millionaire, and amongst many more. So we know he can deliver in terms of performance. But we've never, ever seen Dev Patel like this before. He is a true action star, and it shows. He got ripped to play this movie. He got physically abused during the making of this movie. He famously broke his hand on the first fight scene for this movie and had to shoot the remaining of the film without a cast because they could not afford to remove it in post. Like, this is tough for a guy that's directing his first movie, not only starring in it, he also wrote it and produced it. He's wearing multiple hats in this film, and it shows. His love and passion for the film shows, and it oozes throughout the entire production. You can tell in the cinematography that he loves to shoot these movies, and I hope he does more movies like this in the future. There is one scene in this film that particularly stood out to me in terms of cinematography and lighting, and it's towards the end of the film where he's about to meet the last antagonist. He's in this hallway, and there's this huge mural to his right, and it's just beautifully lit. Like, it's perfect. Like, I love it. And you can tell from that shot, obviously from a bunch of shots before, that he's great as a director, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Another aspect of this film that I really liked was the cast. The cast is phenomenal, especially the actor that plays a younger version of Dev's character and the mother. Their love that is shown in this movie is so genuine. You really believe that this is an actual mother and a son. And the trauma that he faces in this movie when he has to witness his mom get killed is the trauma that he brings with him as an adult. It's his motivating, driving force into why he's doing what he does and why he wants revenge. It's the reason why he can take a beating and always get back up, because nothing that he can physically get in terms of abuse can ever amount to the trauma he saw and suffered to as a young boy when he watched his mom get killed. It's tough for anyone, yet alone a child, to witness such a traumatic event. And it's his bread and butter. He uses it throughout the whole movie. He gets constant flashbacks about moments of his mom, and it's just beautifully paced in that aspect. It does kind of slow down towards the second act a bit, because our character has to go through his first down. Like, he goes down, he fails to get the guy that's responsible for the death of his mother, and he has to get his spirits back up. He has to go through a whole training montage. And what action movie that we watch, what great action movie doesn't have a great montage? And this movie definitely does have a great montage. He beats the shit out of a rice bag, and he holds 2 buckets of water for a really long time. And it's great. It's great. The whole directing part of that movie, of that part of the movie, is fantastic. Like, it slows down a bit in terms of the action, because it starts off running and it kind of slows down a bit. You take a breather in the second act before it picks back up in the third act. Another thing I really liked about this movie is the gorilla mask. I think it was a great touch for him to have the character wear the mask, especially when he's fighting against other opponents. But what I didn't like was that at the end, right before the third act starts, he bleaches the mask, which I do like that he bleached the mask. But what I didn't like is that he wears the mask, walks up to the first guy he's about to knock out, he takes off the mask and throws it out. And I'm like, why the hell did you even bleach it in the first place? It doesn't make sense. Like, if he wore it throughout the rest of the film and he beats everybody's ass with that mask on and gets to the last guy, the last antagonist, and then reveals who it was the whole time, I think that would have been pretty cool. But unfortunately, he does not wear the mask throughout the entire ending of the fight scene, but that's all right. But I did like that aspect. I like that he bleached it. The mask looks super fucking cool, bleached. I loved it. And he has the all black, attire. He kind of looks like an Indian John Wick, although I'm not going to make any more comparisons to the movie with John Wick because they're nothing alike. He originally had the stunt team for John Wick to come for the film, so it probably would have had a very similar vibe in terms of the action sequences, which you cannot fault them for that. John Wick is a very successful franchise, and you try to emulate what's good, and what the audiences are coming to see. And they made 4 fucking John Wick movies, so clearly we can't have enough John Wick. Another thing that he brings to this movie that we haven't seen in a while we're on the terms of action is the shaky cam. I haven't seen shaky cam like this in a movie in quite a while. It was very prominent in films in the early 2000s. A good example of this would be the Jason Bourne franchise, where you just got a lot of fucking camera shake, to kind of hide, the stunts. We got used to not seeing it as much in later films towards the later part of the decade, because a lot of films started doing these nice one-ers for the action scenes to really play out the action. In this movie, he does use the shaky cam. He uses it quite a lot, but it doesn't affect the film. It doesn't take you away from the action. He uses it to sell the impacts, to sell the action. The choreography on itself is fantastic. There are a couple great one-ers in this film as well that really stand out, especially this one scene in the kitchen that is phenomenally shot. And honestly, working in production, I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, how the fuck did he shoot this, man? On the budget that he had when he shot this movie, which I will get in a little bit about some of the production problems that they faced throughout the movie. But man, when you're watching this movie, I couldn't help to think, like, how did he pull off some of this stuff? Knowing what he went through with the production, it's amazing that this film even got made and even finished. It's shot for 9 months, so it's pretty crazy. Actually, while I'm on the topic of production, we might as well talk about the production of this film, which is notorious for all the shit that went on with this movie, including the injuries that Dev Patel sustained while filming. Besides the one I mentioned earlier where he broke his hand, he also sustained a shoulder injury. He had swollen foot syndrome. He also got a nasty eye infection from one of the fight scenes in the bathroom, which you can see in the trailer. He broke multiple cameras on this. He had to shoot some of it with his iPhone and a GoPro. He also lost his gaffer to a heart attack while filming this movie, which is sad, and he had to get replaced. Another aspect I mentioned before was the John Wick stunt team not being able to make it to the shoot for the Indonesia. So he was pressed to find another choreographer stuntman. So Dev did what we all would do in that situation. We went to YouTube. And on YouTube, he found this stuntman / choreographer by the name of Brahim Shab. He has a YouTube channel that you can go on and you can find him. He talks about the stunts and some of the choreography he does for the film. Guys, I cannot recommend watching this movie enough, especially on the big screen, because if it wasn't for my man Jordan Peele, who saw this movie ahead of time and purchased the rights from Netflix, it would have originally went to streaming. And this movie is not for the streaming. It's meant to be watched on the big screen. The action screams big screen fun. It's a popcorn flick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to these movies to watch action, to get entertained, and this movie delivers. Please watch in the big screen and support your local cinemas. Thank you so much for watching Cinema Talk. A sub to this channel would be greatly appreciated, and a like also would be nice. I'll see you all next time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.